Good morning, guys. It is Tuesday, August 25th, and we are starting Foundations of Health Science. So anybody that tried to tune into Zoom yesterday, there were some issues with Zoom, and so it didn't record my Zoom, and I was unable to upload the one that I recorded yesterday afternoon for you, but it was just mainly directions and then a review of that PowerPoint. So, of course, let me know if you have any questions. I'm going to share my screen quickly with you guys so we can kind of go over what needs to be done today. All right, so we're going to click into Canvas. We're going to go to our Foundations of Health Science course, go to our daily agenda so that we know what we are responsible for today. I'm going to minimize the Zoom screen, guys, Kaden and Jamie, so just let me know if you need me. Scroll down here to what we are doing today, which is your discussion post. That's every day. Continuing your definitions due tomorrow. You can turn them in once completed. The sooner you turn them in, the sooner I can release all the correct answers, okay? But it is graded. It is a graded assignment. Everything has synced to PowerSchool now. So what you're going to see is a flood of things hit PowerSchool. It's like 10 assignments, I think, that were all daily, weekly assignments. I have always reserved the right to change assignments to a quiz or a project or whatever I want them to be. But again, like I said, the bulk of your assignments will be daily and weekly assignments. Once we continue your definitions, the Zoom today is going to be giving you some tips and tricks to help you remember and learn some of the terms because I know it's a lot. So we're going to start with the abbreviations this morning. So I'm going to go over here to modules. Okay, I'm going to scroll down here. You guys do not have access to this document yet. I just don't know if it's in the right order that I want it to be in. Okay, so here are the abbreviations with their correct answers. Okay, so what we're going to do is go through some of these and help you remember what they are. Okay, so just before we even get started, do any of you have any questions about or like ones that you know you're going to have a hard time remembering? Okay, so guys, let's scroll through them really quickly. Number one, stat means immediately. How many of you have watched like a medical show and they've said, I need a pint of blood, stat? Okay, everybody's shaking their head. All right, vital signs, VS. Okay, that should be pretty easy because vital signs, VS, just the first letter. RX is prescription. Okay, so if you've ever been to like the Walmart pharmacy or looked on your pharmacy bottle, you'll actually see where it says like RX and then the name. PRN is as necessary. That's kind of a tough one because I don't really have a trick for that one. But PRN just means as necessary or whenever needed. Okay. HS can mean bedtime or it can also mean hours of sleep. Okay. So if you see, and what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to write out some of these that are harder to remember, just little tips and tricks, and I'm going to write it out with the little tip on it. And it will be posted by the end of the day. So HS can also mean hours of sleep, okay, or at bedtime. NPO, okay, NPO means what, guys? Nothing by mouth. What do you think that means? Can I drink this coffee? Can I take a pill and swallow it? Can I eat breakfast? That's what it means, nothing by mouth. So if NPO means nothing by mouth, then it would make sense that PO would mean by mouth. So what I see a lot of the time, guys, is you get so strict in learning the terms that sometimes when we're taking tests, it will say something like Miss Jensen is allowed to have medications PO, and we don't choose the correct answer because we just get so fumbled in the question. So make sure if you know what NPO means nothing by mouth, then use our critical thinking skills when you're taking your test to know that PO must mean by mouth. All right, BID means what, guys? Twice a day. What do you think TID would mean? So a bicycle has two wheels, right? How many? 3 times a day, okay? So a bicycle, BID, bicycle has 2 wheels. A tricycle has how many wheels? 3 wheels. So TID would mean 3, okay? What about Q2H? Every 2 hours. So let's say I change it to Q6H. What would that mean? Every 6 hours. Exactly, guys. So when you're taking these tests, Don't overthink the questions. Use your skills. Q2H is every 2. Well, they might change it to 6, but don't let that kind of disrupt how you know the word should be read. A and B means to ambulate. That's kind of a hard one if you don't know what ambulate means. Ambulate just means to walk around. Okay, so on a test, if you choose to put ambulate or you put walk, or on an assignment, I'll take either one. All right, MG is milligram, okay? So you might take 3 milligrams of Tylenol. All right, ML, now, this is important, guys. When you're doing these abbreviations, you have to learn which of the words are capitalized and which are not. So in ML, the L is capitalized. If you do not capitalize it on a test or quiz or assignment, it is wrong, okay? So M capital L is milliliter, okay? Because capital L means what? Liter. So what do we buy from the store? A 2 liter, right? So if you can remember that a 2 liter is a large drink, okay? And ML, milli means it's what? Small, okay? So is a milliliter smaller than a liter? Yes, they're shaking their head yes, okay? CC is cubic centimeters. So in the medical field, sometimes instead of putting like ounces or saying it in like kitchen terms, we use CC to kind of keep it separated. But again, you have to learn what TSP means. TSP is a teaspoon. So what's TB as in boy SP? If TSP is teaspoon, what is TBSP? TBSP is tablespoon. Okay, so tablespoon is a little bit bigger. All right, for number 16 up here, sufficient quantity is not on my board, and I did not require that you know that one, so you can take that out. You do not need to know what sufficient quantity is. It shouldn't be up there, okay? So 17, EKG, a quick way to remember this, okay? Let's break down EKG, okay? EKG is electrocardiogram. All right, so K is what they use in the UK and across the large Atlantic Ocean to describe like electrocardiogram. You know how they sometimes spell things a little bit different. So that's where the K came from. But electrocardiogram, let's break the word down, okay, into 3 pieces: electro, cardio, and gram, okay? So you may not have gotten all the way to your suffixes yet, but I'm gonna break this word down. What does electro sound like? Turn the light switch on. What's it sound like? If we turn the light switch on, what are we turning on? Electricity. Okay, so electro sounds like electricity. Cardio is what? Heart. Okay, and then we're going to do it for the gram. We're going to take a picture for the gram. So what is gram? It's what? It can be a unit of measurement, but if we're going to put something on Instagram, what are we putting on Instagram? Pictures. So that's what gram means for this, okay? So let's put the word together. Electro sounds like electricity, cardio is heart, and gram is a picture. So what do you think an EKG is? A picture of the electricity in the heart, and they use a machine to take it. So you see how we took that word and made it 3 little words to come up with the definition? That's going to be your assignment tomorrow. You're going to take a big word and break it up into the 3 little pieces to figure it out. So when you're answering my questions, electrocardiogram, you can literally put electricity, heart, picture. As long as you understand that when you would tell someone what that means, you would say, oh, it's a picture of the electricity in the heart, right? You can break it down just like that. Okay, DC, discharge, discontinue. All right, so DC, we're going to DC this patient. I'm going to DC their A and B, Q2H. Do y'all see how we're starting to make whole sentences? All right, so if I said DC, what's that mean? Discharge, what is A and B? To walk. And what is Q2H? So I'm discharging that they need to walk every 2 hours. Do you see how we just made a whole sentence? And that's how the doctors write. They write an order like that, okay? So as a nurse, you might get an order that says, patient is to A and B, Q2H, and you would know that that patient needs to walk every 2 hours. All right, so this is the language of the medical profession. EEG. All right, well, we just learned some of this. What's electro sound like? Electricity. What's gram? Picture. You guys may not have gotten to CFAL yet. Okay, that's the second part of this word, CFAL. But that means head or brain. All right, so somebody tell me what this whole word means. Break it up into 3 pieces. Electricity, head or brain, and a picture. So it's a picture of the electricity of the brain. All right, you see how we're breaking it down into 3 pieces? Don't get these too confused, okay? Remember, EEG is the head, okay? And EKG is the heart. And the last one is do not resuscitate. What does it mean when we resuscitate someone? To help them come back to life, or to help them restore breathing, restore heart function. Okay, that's what we're doing. All right, so we've made it all the way through the abbreviations, y'all, and I've given you a couple of ways and tricks to remember them. Do y'all have any questions? Yes, ma'am. So when we go to the store and I buy a 2 liter, what am I buying? Yep, a 2 liter is 2 liters of drink, but liter is a fluid. Okay. Any questions? Since we don't have, I'm going to stop sharing for just a second and come back to the group. Are there any questions from our online learners? Is this helpful to you guys? Is this helping y'all? Yes, no, maybe so?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Good morning. All right, so I'm going to share the screen. I'm going to go ahead and do the prefixes too, okay? Because I think this is helpful. All right. So we may not make it through all the prefixes. Hold on one second, guys. Sorry, we have a phone call. Sorry. Yes. Yes, I have a slide. I sure will. Okay, I will. Thank you. Bye-bye. Hey, Tanaya. You need the paper. On your way to second period, stop by Mr. Joyner's office. Can you do art? Or you want regular? If you decide you want regular paper, there might be some of that printer. All right, here we go, guys. So let's do some of these prefixes. A or an means what? Not, without, however, whatever. All right, anti. If you are anti-bullying, what are you? I'm against bullying, okay? If you are anti-uniforms, what are you? If you are anti-mask, against masks, okay? Auto. If I write an autobiography, who wrote it? I wrote it, okay? An autobiography is written by the person. Auto meaning self, okay? A bicycle has how many wheels? 2 wheels. Brady, okay, means slow. So I like to remember Brady as saying, my dog was walking real Brady today. Or I named my dog Brady because he walks really slow. So in your mind, when you're taking your test and you cannot for the life of you remember what Brady Cardick means, okay, I want you to remember that Miss Hardy said Brady, really slow, okay? So Brady means slow. So what would Brady Cardick mean? Slow. I need everybody paying attention to me, okay? Brady Cardick would mean what? Brady Cardick, slow heart. Because remember, sometimes we can change the last letter of those terms to make them sound a little better. All right, contra. Contra. If I contradict my mama, what am I doing? Contra. I'm going against what she says. So mama said, clean your room. And I'm going to contradict mama and I'm going to say, I'm not cleaning my room today. Contra means I go against what my mama said. Okay. All right. Next is dis, D-Y-S. Okay. So dis, like if I diss somebody, does it hurt their feelings? Sure. So that's how I remember that one. Diss. I'm going to diss you. It's going to be painful. I'm going to hurt your feelings. Okay. Exo. This is kind of a hard one, but exo means outside or inside. excuse me, ecto sounds like exit, which is going outside. Endo sounds like enter, so that means inside. Does that make sense to y'all? Okay, ecto sounds like exit, so we're outside. Endo sounds like enter. Yes, ma'am. Did you see me pause for a second? So guys, some of these are not on the list that I gave you. What I'm gonna do is type up a list of just the words that I gave you and put the correct answers. So it would be good to look at this list once I make it public to you so that you have an idea of what they are, because you may certainly see them. But when I give the key back to you, I'm going to type it on the same form you guys typed your answers on. Okay, so when I give it back to you, it'll just be those words up there. All right, epi means upper or above. X is exit. Hemi, guys, hemi means what? Half. That should be easy to remember. Hemi starts with an H, half starts with an H. Hyper, if somebody is extra hyper today, what does that mean? They're like super happy, hyper, like there's a lot going on. If you describe a child as hyper, then that means they are busy, right? That's the same thing hyper means. So if I said somebody had a hypercardia, what does that mean? A high heart, or maybe like a high heart rate, okay? So good job breaking those words down. Hypo is the opposite. Hypo rhymes with low. All right, so hypo is what? Low or under or less than. Okay, so that person. So remember, the way I'm saying these, you need to be studying them like that, because that will help you understand. Inter, okay, inter is between. So if I go on the interstate, it goes between states. If I go on the intrastate, it means that I'm still in my state. Okay, we don't typically use those quite as often. All right, leuco means white. So if somebody has leukemia, what do you think that's a problem with? The white blood cells. You got it. So you might not have known what emia means, but you know leuco means white. So leukemia is something with the white blood cells. Great job. What do you look at a microscope? What do you look under a microscope at? Really what? Really small things, microscope. Neo, brand new. All right, neo, change the last letter and it's brand new. Yesterday we said poly was what? Peri. I'm sorry, peri is around. Okay, poly is what? When you have a polygon, how many sides does it have? A polygon has a whole bunch of sides. I saw one of my students go like this. All right, polygon is a whole bunch of sides. So poly means many. Okay, post is after. Okay, so when you take a post assessment, it's after you've done what? Covered everything. Good job. Pre-assessment is when? Before you cover everything. Pro, if I'm pro mask, what does that mean? I'm pro mask. I'm for mask. If I'm pro bullying, what am I for? If I'm pro uniforms, what am I for? Okay. Semi also means half. Okay. Where does a submarine go? Under the water, so it's below. Tacky is the opposite of Brady. So we said I named my dog Brady because he's real what? He's real slow. So I'm gonna name my dog Tacky because he's what? He's fast. So tachycardia means what? Fast heart. And then the next one is tele, which is distant or far. I know that's not on your regular list, but for tele, we do talk about that in another unit. If I call somebody on the telephone, are they sitting right beside me? They're far away, right? Okay. So coming back to the stop share screen, I just want to reiterate, guys, when I share with you the answers, which won't happen until tomorrow or once I get everybody's, it's going to be a typed in copy of the exact copy I gave you to look for. So you should have it. Remember, I recommend learning these in colors. I'm going to share with you. I have it written here, and while they're working on getting their definitions, I'm going to work on writing up the little ways that I like to remember things. And I may honestly put it on that typed document so it's all together and you're not having to flip back and forth. Even though I prefer to write because that's how I learn, I may do it on the typed copy and put my little tricks up there that way. Okay. Does anybody have any questions? Kaden, James, JME, anybody in class? Okay, so quick review, guys. Today you need to get your discussion posts in. You need to get these definitions done. The sooner the better, okay? Go ahead and turn them into me. They are a grade. It's out of 110 points. You need to make sure that you are studying these and looking at these. Do not just go into zombie mode and start answering these questions, because this is what your first test is made of. We will continue to give you tips and tricks on how to remember these for root words and suffixes tomorrow. And then tomorrow I will open up your next assignment, which is a worksheet practicing these. I will also open up a Quizlet tomorrow. That is another avenue for you to practice these. And I am available, guys, 3 to 4 every day, and the Zoom during class. If you want to just test terms, we can go back and forth on Zoom to test these terms. I'll literally make flashcards for you, okay? If you don't have any questions, I'm going to stop the recording, and this will be posted by 4 p.m.